You know the student I mean, the one who decides I can't do this before you even finish the instructions. Their shoulders drop, their head goes down, and they shut off completely. It's frustrating and confusing, and it's easy to label them as lazy or unmotivated. You've tried every pep talk, but nothing gets through that wall of I don't care. But what if it's not laziness at all? What if that I can't is actually a distress signal, and learning to read it is the key to helping them finally try? When a student constantly says, I can't, it's really defiance. It's a cry for help. That phrase is a shield built from years of feeling unsuccessful. It's what psychologists call learned helplessness, a conditioned belief that no matter what they do, they'll fail. These students aren't lazy, they're scared of trying, scared of failing again, scared of proving that deep down fear that they're not good enough. So, our job isn't to fight their defiance, it's to dismantle their fear. We can't do that with a pep talk or by making the work easier. A brain stuck in a failure cycle needs something stronger, real evidence. Small, undeniable wins that prove success is actually possible for them. That's where the micro-success method comes in. This isn't just a nice idea. It's a strategy rooted in brain science. It's about rewiring your students' mindset by creating a positive feedback loop that gives them the evidence they need to start believing in themselves again. The micro-success method. So, what's the big idea? Stop trying to get the student to climb the whole mountain at once. Instead, help them see they can take a single, tiny step. Celebrating tiny, incremental success builds intrinsic motivation by creating a real sense of achievement. Each small win triggers a release of dopamine in the brain, the neurotransmitter of motivation, which literally makes them want to take the next step. Research shows this strategy of breaking down complex tasks makes students much more likely to tackle harder problems later because it builds momentum and confidence. So, how do you actually do it? It's a simple 3-step process. First, you have to become a micro-success detective. Your new mission is to hunt for the smallest possible sign of effort or progress. This isn't about looking for the right answer. It's about looking for any forward motion at all. Did they pick up their pencil when everyone else did? That's a micro-success. Did they write their name on the paper, even if they did nothing else? That's a micro-success. Did they open the textbook to the correct page? Micro-success. Did they just stare at the page for 10 seconds before giving up, instead of the usual 2? That is progress and a micro-success. Did they ask a classmate for help, even if they wouldn't ask you? That's a huge micro-success. Acknowledgement and connection. Once you spot a micro-success, step 2 is about acknowledging it, specifically and privately. General praise like good job feels empty and can sound fake to a student who knows they didn't finish. Precision is your most powerful tool because it praises the process, not just the outcome. Praising their effort or strategy sends the message that what you value is something they can control. Lean down and say quietly, "Hey, I saw you picked up the pencil right away." That's the first step. Or, "Thank you for writing your name on the paper. Now we're ready to start." This isn't about throwing a party. It's a calm, factual observation delivered privately, so you don't put a vulnerable student on the spot. You're simply holding up a mirror and showing them You did this one thing right. This private acknowledgement builds trust and shows you see their effort, not just their grade. The third and final step, connect that micro success to their capability. This is how you build a bridge from what they just did to what they can do next. After you acknowledge the micro success, add a simple phrase like, "That was a great first step. What do you think the next tiny step could be?" Or, "See, I knew you could get started. Let's just look at one problem together." You're not pressuring them. You're reframing their own action as proof of their competence. You're creating what researchers call a chain of success. Each tiny win is a new link, making the chain stronger and reinforcing a growth mindset that focuses on progress, not perfection. There was a student, let's call him Leo. Maths was his enemy. The second he got given a worksheet with fractions, Leo's head would hit the desk. "I can't," was his mantra. For weeks, the teacher tried encouraging him, but nothing worked. So they decided to become a detective. They just watched him. They noticed he would take the worksheet and, just out of habit, tap the corner 3 times on his desk before putting his head down. Tiny nervous ritual. The next day, the teacher leaned over before he could shut down. "Leo," they said quietly, "I noticed you always get your paper organized and ready to go. Thank you for doing that first step." He just kind of stared at them, confused. He didn't do the work that day, but he didn't put his head down right away either. He held his pencil. The day after that, he wrote his name. The teacher praised it. "Great, we're on the board." The next day, they saw him glance at the first question for a few seconds. They came by later and said, "Thanks for looking at that first problem. Thinking about it is where it starts." Slowly, link by tiny link, they built a chain. A week later, he tried the first question. It was wrong, but he had tried. And they celebrated the try. They looked at his work and found the next tiny step. Leo started to see himself not as a kid who couldn't do math, but as a kid who was learning how. So, stop fighting the "I can't." It's an argument you'll never win because it's not an argument. It's a symptom of fear. Instead, become a detective for evidence of effort. Hunt for that micro success. Look for the pencil being picked up, the paper being straightened, the single word being written. Acknowledge it privately, connect it to their ability, and watch as those tiny moments build a foundation of confidence that can change your students' entire outlook. You have the power to help them rewrite their own story, one small win at a time. What's the smallest micro success you've ever celebrated with a student? Share your story in the comment below. Your idea might be the one that helps another teacher reach their most discouraged student. And if you found the strategy helpful, please like and subscribe for more ways to make your classroom a place where every single student can succeed. Check out our Patreon page and socials for more resources, and take a look at our Mindful Apparel store to add calm reminders to your everyday life. Links are in the description.